I think I'm losing my mind. Have you ever said that? I said, good. Lose your mind. For it may be the best thing you have ever done. Would that mean you would go crazy? No. Maybe you might go sane. Join us and see if your mind is your friend or if your mind is the devil that takes you to hell. This is Who Am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I?
Who?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
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 Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute truth. That's our purpose.
Who am I?
All right. Now, in the last class, as I was saying, by the way, y'all ready to get educated? Okay. Of course, huh?
We're in class.
Yeah, well, you're in class. And it looks like I'm the teacher and you're the students. And usually most, educational settings, they have a teacher or teachers, and we got a couple of, former teachers sitting up right here. You would stand in front of the class and you would say, according to chapter 9 of the text, whatever, And it looks like you have information that they don't have. All right? And they are to learn something. And to learn something means you will acquire, to gain something that isn't there. Matter of fact, that goes against what the root word of education is. The root word of education comes from educe, all right? Which means to bring out that which is already there, all right? You already know it, all right? But it looks like you don't. And really what education should be about is unlearning rather than learning. We have all been conditioned, all right? The teachers right here, y'all know about, behavior modification and all that stuff, okay? That's based upon Skinner, all right? And Skinner basically says reward, and you keep rewarding behavior that is desirable. Yeah, Raphael.
Yes, it seems like all this confusion in the mind, it will come as in form of a dream of confusion that is really, it comes in connection to what the mind has been perceiving and interpreting all this confusion. Now, if you take the mind and you take sexuality and you take dreams, it's all a matter of controlling those three because we need to control them.
Control what three?
Well, control the mind to focus and concentrate, and it can be a good use of the mind as long as you can discipline the mind. It's the same thing as sexuality. It can get out of control the same way of the mind or the function of the mind.
Or any, food, the eating, or anything.
Or the drink.
But that's the human, okay? It looks like you can slow down your thoughts. You're a student of meditation, okay? And you're trying to control and slow down your thoughts, but you don't know where your next thought is coming from. All right? I mean, you might be thinking of Jesus, and next thing you think about is sex. I mean, not you, of course. But it just it's like. Yeah, okay, yes, it is. You can't slow your thought process. The Buddha called the mind the monkey mind, okay? Meaning, it jumps from here to there to here to there. And, you go to sleep at night, you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the mind's just feeding your thoughts. Y'all never had that experience, I'm sure, okay? But yeah, and you try to slow it down through maybe meditation, some people through yoga, some people through breath control. Yes, there are ways you can slow it down, but you can't get rid of your thoughts by yourself. you cannot do it. Okay?
But I agree with that.
Yeah. Terry.
I'm thinking about the STEM and STEAM science,
The what?
science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Okay.
My situation is that preschool, I used to watch these shows. Captain Kangaroo, everybody remember
Oh,
Captain?
yeah.
Magic Drawing Board.
I don't remember that, but okay, yeah.
That was
I like
cool.
Mr. Rogers, yeah.
And well, Miss Patsy Playhouse had a black artist, and I was fascinated by what he was doing, drawing, and from preschool to high school, I was always drawing. I majored in art education and fine art, and my master's is on Afri-Cobra, a black revolutionary art movement and arts for people's sake. So, in between that, I taught kids art, principles of balance, symmetry, repetition, line, principles of techniques how to create illusions, like three-dimensional form on a two-dimensional space. So this education, really I grew up in cotton fields and watermelon fields, but that did not hinder me from wanting to practice, and here I am at 60 working on a doctorate in the humanities and art. So it's like I wasn't socially engineered, but I just followed that notion of what was inside already. So this goes back to what is the basis of personal identity. For me, it was talent. And for my students, because I can find them now, some of them are professors in media arts. One of them is an architect, and a lot of them come from what so-called low-performing schools. So it's not necessarily the label, but actually the person in the room. So
Yeah, Michael Jordan has superior athletic ability in basketball. He can't play baseball. He tried, okay? But, I mean, nobody would question Michael Jordan's ability to bounce a basketball, all right? He was born to play basketball, not baseball, okay? Earl Garner, okay, jazz musician, never could read a note of music in his life. Sat down, you probably heard Earl Garner's compositions and stuff, okay? In other words, it was, there were what we call God-given talents. It appears that your life is on a railroad track, okay? You are a male. You had nothing to do with that. You're black. You had nothing to do with that. You have above average intelligence. You had nothing to do with that. Yeah, I assume you have above average intelligence. Okay,
I've read a lot.
Okay, whatever. All right, but you're not your IQ is at least average or above. Okay, but you had nothing to do with that. You were born in the United States. All right, your parents were, I guess they weren't Rockefellers.
No.
Okay, so you had nothing to do with that. The socioeconomic status you were born to. So yes, it appears as a human, your life will be, as the Buddhists would say, you have a dharma on a certain path, okay? Yes, but, that's a human. Does God know anything about you? No, okay? God can know anything about you, Alan Carter. When I say God, I don't mean Jehovah, okay, Allah. I mean the infinite absolute. As we were saying in the previous class, the infinite absolute can only know the infinite absolute, all right? And you, Terry, or Alan, or, Donald Trump, okay, or whoever, any human, all right? Or even people we say who are not human. Some people think that Jesus, was not human, all right? Some people think he was God or Buddha, okay? That's just something they believe. They can't prove that. But if he thought he was Jesus, then he was just like Alan Carter. And he was on a path because he was born from a Jewish family in a place in Galilee or wherever he grew up. And that determined his whole life. By me being born from Robin Ruth Carter, black in Alabama, yada, yada, my experiences came up as a black male in Alabama doing Jim Crow and all of that stuff, okay? But that has nothing to do with truth or God. That's just like a dream that, if you're dreaming about, come on, Beyonce, okay, then that's just a dream, all right? It's a dream that was dreamed up and has nothing to do with reality.
You keep saying things that kind of trigger things that are deeper than what you're saying. You said it appears as, whereas in God nothing appears because of the collapsed state or the state of allness. I had an experience of one of my children passing, transitioning. And I remember very, very distinctly when he came to me and he spoke to me after, quote, his so-called death. And he was in another identity, because he said, had I listened to you, you wouldn't be missing your son. So I understood real clearly that he was not in the personality that he was in when he was my son, that he had transitioned to another state of consciousness. Okay, so we go back to your questions again. Is the mind a servant or is it a master? I have the tendency to believe that a mind based upon separation from God in this dimension of duality is the master. And it plays out itself by having us do its bidding in terms of the logic that it gives us, and that all of these institutions that you talked about before, you didn't mention the church, but religion, well, you did mention
Theology.
You did mention religion, but all of the things that become visible as controlling devices for us, all of those things come out of the mind's desire to basically be in charge, because it's very fearful of God or the all, where it would collapse into the all if possible.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, you're right. See, when we say mind, we got to make a distinction. Okay. Now because I have a PhD in clinical psychology. Suppose I know something about the mind. Actually, I just know what they taught me. But the human mind, all right, the ego is just simply a thought. It's a thought of separation. And once it separates, it's really like Big Bang, if you want to use an analogy. It was like, boom, God stopped being all or infinite. Boom, time and space occurred. Boom, out of time, space, there can come matter. Because if you got matter, you got to put it somewhere. All right? It has to have a location. And it will then, boom, because there's time, there will be a story. Okay? That in the beginning. All right? And there will be a story called Bahia Has Children. All right? And that Bahia has a child who died. All right? And all kinds of stuff, emotions attached to that. That comes out of the ego or the mind that says there's separation, that God stopped being all. Now, people can have all kinds of experiences. Who was the guy that started the Mormon religion? Joseph Smith. All right, he had all kinds of supposed supernatural experiences and started a religion called the Mormon. Muhammad supposedly had a whole lot of experiences that was supernormal, and out of that, the Quran supposedly came to him, and they said that was God's word. And all religions usually have that, where their leader has had something called out of the normal experience. That's still ego. That has nothing to do with the all, the infinite absolute. Because if that happened, if Muhammad, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody's religion, I want you to hear this. If you're a Muslim, a Christian, a Jewish, or atheist, or whatever, stay that way. I'm not trying to convert you, okay? I just want you to do some critical thinking. And if you don't do it, I don't care, okay? Because it's all about me anyway. But there was this thing called, it appears that there was a limitation upon infinity. And that's when Muhammad could think that he's hearing the word of God. Okay, or those prophets supposedly in the Old Testament, or Jesus, or whatever. Or you thinking that you talk to your son. Yes, that was an experience. I'm not saying that didn't happen. Okay, I'm not saying that Muhammad didn't go into a cave and hear something and wrote down the Quran. Okay, or the Course in Miracles that these two psychology professors at Columbia, as you know, had, when one heard the supposed voice of Jesus and transcribed the Course in Miracles. All of that appeared to happen, but it also appeared that I dreamed about Beyonce last night. I really didn't, but I wish I had. But anyway, it's always been that it always a dream, and this is the only reality. Okay, quickly, then I want to move on to somebody else.
But you are saying that it didn't happen. Come on.
Well, it didn't happen in reality.
No, I mean, when you're really dealing with what's going on here, my son didn't exist. He didn't come back to me. I'm not here in this space-time thing. That's really the truth.
Yeah.
Okay? And in accepting that, I can step a little bit closer to some other truths.
Okay. Good.
Okay. But if I'm playing with myself and I want to go in and out of this thing, well, then my son did come to me, and all the the other things that happened did happen, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. I don't know about anybody.
Well,
else,
do whatever you want. Do whatever comes for you next to do. You don't really have any control over it anyway. Okay, but do whatever. It's just like you don't know when you go into the bathroom next, or you don't even know what you're going to dream about tonight. But you will probably dream about something tonight, and you definitely, I hope, will go to the bathroom, okay?
Okay, so then I'm here thinking, and I'm using thought, which I'm using the mind, to understand what you're talking about, and what who am I means and what I am. So the word understand is really a mental concept. But what you're saying, it seems to me all the time, is that you have to stand in truth. And we draw a line and see what's under that. So you're saying the mind is all about understanding. It's meaning it's never going to get where the truth is or the absolute or the all is, because that's where we stand. That's who we are, God. But the mind says we're under that. We're not that.
Yeah.
And that's what, you keep saying, but I don't know. And it's very difficult for the mind to grasp that, because the mind is a thought itself trying to understand another thought. And you keep saying that the mind is finite. So how can the finite understand the infinite?
Exactly.
So we're just in a loop.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But you said in self-inquiry is asking yourself, who am I? And who is the I that's asking that question? So when you keep going back to find out who that I is, you're never going to find the I in anything. Right. Because the I is beyond everything.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like what Raphael says a lot, Yeah. You will have to get to nothing.
Right.
All right, that I, it's kind of like, to use an analogy, all rivers flow into the ocean, okay? And when the river flows into the ocean, it's no longer a river, okay? It's just ocean. Right. Okay? But, we identify as a river separate from the ocean. Okay, but there's the old saying. There's a story that goes that there was this real holy man, and he really was studying a lot of scripture and everything. And when he died, he got up to heaven. He went and knocked on heaven's door, and God said, "Who there?" God's black, okay? Everybody knows that. Who there? Okay, and the man said, "I am your loyal, faithful servant, so-and-so, and I studied, and I went to church every Sunday, and God said, 'Go away, I know you're not.'" And man said, "Well, I don't understand that. I was good, and I read the Bible, and I didn't break into the 10 ones." So then he went and studied, went back and, knocked on heaven's door. God said, "Who there?" Again, God black, he didn't change. All right. Anyway, so he says, "It's I, your loyal, faithful servant." God said, "Go away, go away, go away. I know you're not. I know you're not." The man went away, And he started studying, thinking and meditating and all that kind of stuff. And then he came back and he knocked on heaven's door. Went, God said, who's there? And he says, thou art. And God says, come in. Mm-hmm. Meaning, heaven is only for God. Mm-hmm. It's not for you. Mm-hmm. But I am God, but not Alan Carter. Mm-hmm. Alan Carter can't go to heaven. Neither can Jesus. Okay? Neither can Buddha. Only God is in heaven.
When you sing, when we're talking about the mind can only be ruled by the spirits or the ego, like you were describing there. The dream can be very confusing, and in the sense that it can be two different ways of coming in. It's either in the form of a confusion of the mind of who you are, okay? Or will come as an interpretation of an extension of you receiving a message from God.
Well, I don't know.
The same way the spirits work.
I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, see, you'll have to see if what makes for truth, y'all? How do you know what you're saying is true? How do I know what Alan Carter is saying is true? Or how do I know that the Bible or the Quran or whatever? Okay, that's why I have to keep asking, how do I know this that I'm saying? And who is this I that's saying it? Okay, because see, the Alan Carter's I don't always think I'm right. I'm right. My religion is right. My whatever perspective is right. My opinion, my opinions are right. I'm right about Donald Trump. Wait, that might be absolutely true. But anyway, seriously, but I will have these thoughts that they're part of my identity. And I will not give up this identity. No, sir. Okay? That's why, the Pope will not stop being Catholic. Okay? The Pope will always be Catholic. Why? Because his identity is rooted in being a Catholic. All right? Well, Alan Carter's identity is rooted in thinking he's right. Okay? And that's why I'm going to always speak from. But that's going to keep me caught in Alan Carter's identity. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the best thing I can do is maybe ask, how does what I'm saying, how do I know it's true? Okay? And that's the question. That's why we keep asking that. Okay, Terry.
One of the things I learned in my 20s in the search and practice, one question, what is the source of it all? Mm-hmm. I found myself at the Carlos Museum looking at mummies or meditating around mummies. And that sent me to a quest to know the visual heritage that I see in the Meta Nature. Ptah Hotep, Imhotep, which began or predated Aristotle, Plato, Pythagoras. And so the source to me is where it all began, along the Nile River Valley. So we have a heritage. It's written in stone. The Sphinx, 40,000 years old, has been determined. How many years did it take to get to that point? Some say 60,000. So if we take 60,000 in evolution at the 40,000 point, so civilization, which began in Africa, is 100,000 years in number. That is the visual heritage of the Sphinx, pyramid, and the Washington Monument, which is like a Tekken or obelisk.
Yeah, well, that's a nice human story. I don't mean to disparage what you're saying. I went to Egypt, with Asa Hilliard. Okay.
I met it.
Yeah, right. And the thing, though, is it supports your identity as a human. All right,
as an African human.
Whatever. The point is you're down here. Mm-hmm. You're a human. All right? And you have a human story, and because you think you're black and of African descent, where, the story there of mankind did begin in Africa. Mm-hmm. But I say there ain't no man. Mm-hmm. All right? There ain't. Oh, there isn't. Miss Simpson, John, man.
So what's the Sphinx?
Huh? It's like Beyonce in your dream.
Something you made.
It's just something that is made up by, remember we said, here's the ego. This is something that creates a story because it has time and space. And what you're talking about is rooted in time and space. The Sphinx,
And the narratives of the underworld,
all stories.
heaven and hell,
All
it's
stories.
all on the meta nature or hieroglyphics
All
of
stories.
paintings on the wall.
All of that is based on that God is not infinite.
But then, that's why I asked my first question.
What is the source?
And did God create man or did man create God?
As I said before, God can create. Not the all.
And there is no man.
Okay? That the all just is. Creation is time-based. All, the infinite cannot, eternity cannot know of time. Okay? And this, as Linda was saying, this is what the human mind can get. I don't care if your IQ is 20 million and you have 40 PhDs from Harvard and 30 Nobel Prizes. Okay? Einstein couldn't get it. He got caught in, he knew everything was relative. Relative to what, Einstein? Relative to me. Okay, well then what me are you talking about, Einstein? Me that can watch a solar eclipse? Okay? Is that, I can see the sun and the moon? Then that now got me located in time and space, and I just got the signal that the time is up. But this is our story, okay? So I have to stop here because we've run out of time. You can save it for the next statement, all right? So anyway, we're gonna have to stop here, put a comma, and begin to, again, we're not here to knock anybody's, whatever you're doing, do it. All right? I don't care. We're not here to convert you to anything. We're just asking you to be open-minded, if you can, okay? And to, become very critical. Watch and notice your thoughts and see if they have anything to do with absolute truth. The absolute truth of knowing that I am that I am. Thank you. The Bible says man was made in the image of God. Jesus said, I too had a power to do miracles. Even New Thought teachers say you create your own reality. So why do I think I am less than God? Well, we explore why and what you can do about it. Maybe nothing, or maybe everything.
Join Dr. Alan Carter for another exhilarating workshop entitled, Why Do I Think I'm Less Than God? Saturday, September 23rd. Visit drallencarter.com for ticket information. Spots are limited, so register today.